Hello. So, what I'd like to do is share with you guys a thread that I had started in my Random Rob private Discord. It was titled Most Worn Watches of 2023. Oftentimes, people will ask me, I've been asked already, and I'm sure more people will ask. This year, for me personally, it was really spread out. So, and I don't keep track of that. So, I don't know that I could easily identify my most worn watch for 2023. However, a bunch of other people have done so. So, I figured I would just share that with you. If you're interested in joining the Discord group, there is an annual fee, but I'll give you a quick rundown of the Discord just so you can see. Maybe it's a good fit for you, maybe it's not. It's not for everybody, and it's not for everybody in the same sense that it's limited to its capacity. There's only going to be 150 founder members and 50 co-founder members. So, and it's already almost kind of full. So let's get into it. I'll show you the Discord real quick. Hopefully you can see this pretty good. This is the main chat. There's just a lot of back and forth here. But if you look over here on this left-hand column, it's essentially a forum. So like this would be your wrist shots. That's where people post up their wrist shots. Theme of the day. This is a fun little thing we do. Today's pick for the theme of the week was watches bought at watch shows. So like here, Kansas City Tim picked up a Momentum CQ. Colorado Possum picked up a Fortis F41, and that was at the Chicago show. I remember him picking that up. Calico Basin had picked up a Zal Baltimore watch in Baltimore actually in DC at the District Time show. Here's Mitch Maddock picked up a Dufresne at the Microlux show. So you kind of get the point. There's a ton of other things here. One of the main things that people like in here is the Flipper's Paradise. This is where you can buy and sell watches. Great deals, trusted buyers, trusted sellers. It's a back and forth. No Shave November. I still have my beard going, but we're going to archive this one here soon. So Good Eats. I mean, we have some like standard stuff on here too that we all love to eat. Sometimes we share really good meals, good drinks, same thing. Maybe we like to share a good drink. I'm actually sipping on some peanut butter and jelly right now. And all that good stuff. So there's a bunch of fun stuff there. Let's get to the topic. We're almost 3 minutes in. Most worn 2023. I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top and let's just analyze. Let's take a look, shall we? So my buddy Tuna, he said he wore his Omega Aquaterra the most. And this is, one that's a few years old, but I really love this colorway with the bumblebee striped seconds hand there. And it is a 15,000 Gauss. So it is definitely anti-magnetic. If we look down here, we can see DCWMT wore a Garmin Instinct Tactical. He's in Montana. That's what the MT stands for. And he's very athletic. He goes on hikes and everything like that. So that's appropriate. That makes sense. Midwest Watch Dude wore the Black Bay 58. Understandably, he wore that the most. I get it. The Black Bay 58 is a great watch. It wears great and is extremely comfortable and very accurate. Anonymous Watch Guy. He has a YouTube channel. He actually wore the Mont Blanc Ice Sea automatic date. I had one of these on the show. Love the blue one. There's a green one and a black one and stuff like that. But the blue one I think looks the best. And I think Anonymous Watch Guy agrees, as he wore it the most for 2023. Here's Long Island John wearing his F39. Sold and rebought. He actually sent that into the channel. That was one that got sold. And then it looks like he picked it back up again. So F39 back on the rotation, and it was his most worn. Andrew, an Omega Speedmaster. I mean, he clearly just kept on changing it up on different straps, and it's a very comfortable, great, iconic watch. Teddy M looks like a Marine Master 300M SLA 023. Seiko Fanboy, high level diver right there. That's another iconic watch within that segment for sure. Mr. James Duffy throwing a curveball here. We have a Vacheron 92084. I don't know anything about this watch. Very, very classy looking, well done, and kind of a surprise there from Mr. James Duffy on that one. I was not expecting that. Will Carey, this one's really cool. This Hamilton, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I remember it came through the show because he picked it up through here. It came on this really nice leather. It was like a collaborative type thing. It's a large watch, but Will's wrist can support that. So, and he has worn that a ton. I can actually vouch for that. I've met up with Will many times this year in 2023, and that watch was worn. Jeff wore the Slim Turtle SPB 317, different straps, different options, aftermarket, and wore it a lot. So it's a very comfortable thin Seiko diver. Tennessee Mike, actually, he just posted up his State of the Collection video on YouTube, and he did point out that his Zodiac Titanium Limited Edition was his most worn watch, and he's confirming that here by posting it up with the back shot of his Christmas tree, and the lume from that titanium Pro Diver is very good. Kansas City Tim, third try, by far the most worn 2023 is the Rolex Sea Dweller. So it makes sense. I mean, what more can you say? Eric actually wore this Hamilton the most in 2023, which is interesting because that watch, although they didn't have it there when we were there together, I don't think he walked away with it, but they shipped it to him, if I remember right. But I was with Eric at Saltzman's in Rhode Island when he made that deal. So that's really cool that he's stuck with that and he's worn it a bunch. That's pretty awesome. Fuzzy 32 got the call from the AD January for his Explorer 2 and has worn it the most out of all his watches in 2023. And Fuzzy has a very, very impressive collection of watches too. So that's really cool that the Polar Dial Explorer 2 is the one that he picked the most. Mitch Maddock, 2023 Black Bay 58 Heritage. Again, it looks, feels, and wears great. It's a very, very clean watch. Smitty went with the 62 MAS, more modern one, kind of a silvery dial, but it looks white with a little bit of blue. I don't think you can see it in this picture, but it should have like some blue hints to it, if I remember right. And then he's paired it up with the, on this particular picture, it looks like it's on the Artem sailcloth. Yeah, it's right there. Or the Z199 from Uncle Seiko. Joe and the Badger. This is another one. I was actually with Joe at in Detroit area or Southeast Michigan when he discovered his love for this particular watch. Now, he didn't buy that one because we noticed there was an issue with it. Turns out he ended up finding a different source for it and bought it a little bit more affordable end of things. He's got it paired up with Erica's original there, and that's really cool that he's wore that tuna. It's kind of like a James Cameron look to it, but it's a great limited edition tuna. So that's really cool that Joe has that still and has worn it. Nate Dogg, most worn, the Fanos. I can't pronounce that. Why? He says, I work outside. It's titanium comfortable, and it's my beater. So Nate Dogg works outside. I get it. I understand the love for titanium watches because of that as well, both in cold and hot climates. And he's, in outskirts Chicago area. I've met up with Nate Dogg a couple of times. So working outside, I get it. That's a good choice. Plus, it's the work watch. I don't want to call it a beater watch. It's the work watch. Jared rock the white dial Seamaster Professional 300. Very good choice. Looks like he wore it on bracelet. The bracelet on that is really good. It doesn't taper, but it just works really good. So that's a really good choice. Colby went with the Christopher Ward C60 Triton Pro 300. Again, very solid choice. Excellent bracelet, excellent watch. Looks like he's mixing it up with different straps. I love the pop of color of red on there. Ties in, really pulls that red out of the dial. You can see it clearly in these pictures. So good choice. Ginger Down Under, my Australian connection, says let's see, a bit of travel. He did come to the States, and he's been all over New Zealand, and he did a lot of vacationing. The G-Shock Metal has definitely gotten the most wrist time. Makes sense, it's versatile. It's accurate. It's always on. It's ready to go. With travel, you're is even me when I travel, like I'm super easy going on my watches, and I try to not bang them around and stuff, and I move in such a way that prohibits that. But it still hits, like if you're flying somewhere, it hits the seats and it hits the doors, and so yeah, that one's a good tough watch for travel. Bacone says 2023 most worn was the Omega Aquaterra Beijing Olympic. This one has a very, very beautiful white dial on it. I really like this. Is one of my favorite Aquaterras because it's not the silvery white, it's actually white. So I really do dig that. And then those indices in the handset, you don't really see it right here because it looks black, but if I remember right, they're blue. And for that reason, that white with the blue, I think this is one of my favorite Aquaterras. I didn't realize you had that one, so that's really cool. Sky 21, Black Bay 58. We're seeing a pattern here. A lot of the Black Bay 58 owners will wear them on a more religious schedule. So, and there again, the accuracy, it's plus 2 seconds per day. So it does the job. Brave Sailor, bring in a combo. I like that. G-Shocks don't count. Just toss it in there. Why not? So the G-Shock Silver, good choice with the positive display. And then he has the Seiko Mini Turtle. Was not expecting that. And he's put a Beads of Rice bracelet on there, the SRPC 39. Interesting. I would have never guessed that, Brave Sailor. I would have probably picked a different watch that you mostly have worn, but that's interesting. No, that was it. MM10, my buddy Michael out in California. Black Bay GMT. Very, very good choice. And I probably could have guessed that. I see you post up a lot of wrist shots with that watch, so that's pretty cool. It's a solid watch. Here you go, Parkin NJ. Same thing. G-Shocks don't count. Kind of counts when it's an MRG. I have the same one. I love it. It's gotten plenty of wrist time. That's pretty cool. And both, think about it. Both these titanium, both titanium, and both kind of luxury watches. Not kind of. They're expensive. These are like what retail $3,000 or $3,500, and then I don't even know what the Tudor FXD is, but yeah, Parkin NJ bringing the heat. Mr. 37 wore the Notice Retrospect orange dial, sandwich dial, great lume. You can put it on different straps. Nice pop of color. Hard to beat that. Good choice. Mr. James Duffy explains about the VC. We're going to pass over that. YZ80, my buddy Chris on the East Coast here. Yeah, I probably could have guessed that. I see the wrist shots too. The Omega Planet Ocean Oreo. It's the GMT Planet Ocean. Just kind of does everything, and it's the Planet Ocean, guys. I haven't owned a Planet Ocean yet, but I could see doing it one day. That's a killer selection. My buddy Colorado Possum out there in Colorado. Actually, Joe Badger's out there too. I've been out to Colorado. I met up with Joe, but I didn't meet up with Colorado Possum yet. I called him my rich friend because he showed up to one of the meets wearing his two-tone Black Bay GMT root beer, and he was the only one wearing like some level of gold on his watches. So I kind of like was poking him a little bit, but it was for his 50th birthday. So good reason to purchase a really nice watch, and he does wear the heck out of it. So DMJ 02 Darren, the watch is so different from all the others I own, and it's also very comfortable. I can't even read what is that, a Carl, or no, it's a Ulysse Nardin. Is that what that is? Wow, that's a killer watch. And you notice he's wearing it on his right wrist. So mixing it up a bit. Some of these other watches, of course, you're not going to see one of these on a guy's wrist. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Naima is wearing the Laurier Neptune version 3. Another good solid pick. Micro brands, I like that. Stuart Campbell rocking a Zinn U50. Solid German watch, guys. Solid German watch. Let's see. Sergio wore the Seiko Alpinist. I do have one now. I have a black one. So very good choice on the Alpinist. It looks like it fits your wrist perfect. Cole R. said he wore his Panerai Luminar 1950 PAM 372. I don't know all the model numbers and everything. And he's got battle scars to prove it, meaning that he just wore this watch, which, you know, a lot of these watches, they can take it. They're built for it, guys. They can absolutely handle it. So that's really cool, Cole, that you wore that a lot. Um, I know Cole was in Hawaii, and I think he's moved stateside now, but very cool choice. Love the look of it, and it's good to see that you actually wear it. Calico Basin, Rolex Error King. We call it the Error King because it's like the first one, and it has like the 5 without the 05, and then they fixed it, Error King. Nice play on words, Calico. I really appreciate it. And great choice. I used to own one of those. Great watch. They're very comfortable. Solid pick. Bean Boy. Bean Boy likes a lot of affordable watches, like a lot of us do, and he's representing here with the Casio Duro. This is a very affordable option, and he wore this watch more than any other watch. That's very interesting, and it's not modded either. It looks like it's bone stock, so because you can do some mods to these too. So that's really cool that you wore the Duro the most. Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey builds a lot of mods, a lot of custom things. I have a mod build from him, that really ugly duckling one. So it's really cool to see Jeffrey rocking one of his custom builds. This guy here is the SPB 187 case, and then it has a bunch of other parts. So, and I think it looks spectacular. I can see why you picked that the most for 2023. Steph says, I did not wear one alone. The most I tend to wear my watches for days and weeks at a time. I wore 3, probably equally the most. See, I kind of fall in this category too. So Steph said he wore this one right here. I love that. That's that Tudor ceramic. Great, great choice. I still haven't owned one of those yet. The IWC, good choice. Good choice. First time I looked at IWC, I remember like this is years ago. I was like, hey, those are cool. Salesman pulls them out, and I look at the price tag on IWC, and I'm like, what? It blew my mind. That was like early on before I was like desensitized to. And then he's got a nice SLA bright steel Seiko. So nice 3 watch pick. Out of those 3, I would easily pick that Tudor ceramic. That's a killer watch. Steve D says the SLA 051 Yamara Willard. That's the top model Willard with you know, all the special finishes. It's a little bit larger and everything like that. Very comfortable watch, and you know, a little more premium. So that's pretty fun. John Page, one of my admins, met up with him many times out in California. He's big time into like air cooled Volkswagens too. So maybe it's a mindset too. So because look at, he's wearing a Timex. And he wore this the most. This was one of the watches, if I'm not mistaken, was this the one that I think he was wearing in California? And I was a little hungover, but we were chilling out on some bean bags, and he showed me the watch, and I literally bought the exact same watch right then and there. I'd since got it and already sold it, but that Timex is impressive. It's actually really cool. Oh, he says also his kids bought it for him for his birthday too, so it means a little bit more too. Fedora Jet, another one of my admins. Good, my Bay Area, actually John, Bay Area connection. Fedora Gent, really good San Francisco tour guide too. The watch you wore the most was, it's an original King Seiko from 1967. That is cool. It's one thing to just go buy a King Seiko, but 1967 King Seiko, pretty dang cool. Well done, Fedora Gent. And I think we're to the bottom of the list. So, and I still don't have an answer for you guys for what I wore the most. Last year, 2022, it was easy for me to answer it. It was my Olich and Waz P104. This year, I really can't. I legit cannot say what would be my most worn watch. I typically will put a watch on and I'll wear it for about 3 days and then I cycle out. Now I can tell you what watches I didn't wear, and I'm going to cover that in my State of the Collection video, which I'll probably record shortly after this. But I want to get this video out there. And I want you to, you know, join in the comments. What was the most worn watch that you wore for 2023? You know, keep it brief. I mean, obviously you're not posting a picture, so just say what the watch was. And if you have a short answer on why, then share it. I think a lot of other watch fans are interested in this, and you might discover a different watch or a brand that you didn't know was out there, and it might stimulate that relationship where you end up wearing that